Hello, welcome back. This is Mutiny Motorsport. This is the Formula Inter Season 12, where we're picking yet another track from the hat for the drivers. Where are we going to go? These drivers find out just a few minutes before the weekend starts. So they all log on, and then they find out they're racing in Ibarra, which was a favorite from before. We have raced here before. If you haven't watched the F3 season, go watch it. Lap record here by TTAR in the F3 car, and the winner was in the feature was the TTAR, and Maxi won the sprint. Here's qualifying.
Qualifying today saw Kumsum lead the field with a margin over Viltec, about a third of a second. Garrett brings up third place, followed by Debug in fourth, Nate Delta in fifth, John D 6th, Artie 94 in seventh, Orange Boy in eighth, and Leclerc ninth, Bumblebee 10th, Crack a Cold One 11th, and Cloning in 12th.
Look at this opening shot as you can see the lake and the mountains and the cars all coming around, warming up their tires on this humongous circuit for these teeny tiny cars. And as they're rounding the final corner, it's all to go for in the sprint.
Yeah, what a beautiful place to race. It'd be hard not to be distracted as the drivers come to the line.
They do indeed, and they're all lined up, and Cloning hits his foot, smashes it through the bottom of the cockpit, and tries to get away as fast as possible. As we can see, Orange up the inside of the driver there.
Yeah, that looked like a little bit of a slow start for Bumblebee in third. Let's see, does Orange pull through? He's taking the inside, and there's contact.
Oh no! That looks like, is that Bumblebee just falling down the order as Orange gets into second place, and this is going to do him well. Up the inside, how's it going to look? Oh, it's hard to say, the car is snaking around. He is still thinking about it as we go on board with Viltec here, and it's quite a bit of chaos.
There's another car off. Yeah. That was Crack a Cold One struggling on in that first sector, and finding his way towards the back.
So track temp's about 33 degrees Celsius, air temp about 25, so good temperature to race these cars at. Some long corners, a couple of quick and tight ones, and then really just a couple of really long straights. So these drivers probably won't have too much overheating, I can imagine, as Garrett looks down the inside on a closing gap on Nate Delta and thinks, oh, maybe not that scared me a little bit. So as the cars are heading round to the final hairpin, as they zoom past the camera, as someone goes way off and wipes someone out. That looks like maybe Viltec was wiped out there. Oh, that's another heartbreak.
That would have to be Viltec and Artie. Yeah, that's a tricky chicane, but hard for him.
It looks like Artie lost it completely there and just obliterated the side of Viltec. Is Viltec still going? Can he manage it as we're on the overhead cam with Garrett O'Brien on the inside of Leclerc? He is indeed, as they go around the right-hander that goes down towards the lowest part of the track. As we follow on board with Kumsum. And they're all a little bit loose there as the cars start to get squirrely. There just is not enough downforce on these cars, and these drivers are just expecting just a fraction more all the time. So up in front, we did see Orange was challenging for the lead, but right now Cloning is still leading the pack. They get ahead of Nate Delta and ahead of Orange.
Yes, Nate Delta is actually gone up from fifth to second at this point, although
now he's taking first.
Yeah. Wow.
And Cloning doing a great job holding on there, and Orange just a bit hesitant to pass there, and Garrett O'Brien saying, if you don't pass, I will. Make your move. Orange now looking down the inside as Kumsum, as well as looking down the inside of that. This is going too wide into a very tight chicane. And they all seem to survive as Orange gets the back stepped out. Quite a way.
And is the price?
Oh no, down into sixth. What happened there?
That was Orange and Cloning both making mistakes there, so that was second and third falling back.
heartbreak there for those drivers. Cloning did really well to hold on right at the beginning as Kumsum is trying to make a move now. You can see Nate Delta leading away, and that's the position he wants to be in to help his championship. Comes down, he's maxing out those revs down the inside. Will Cloning give him space? He will not. I think these cars have got to be maxing out their gears right now. Oh, as Cloning gets it really wild. He's a little
Cloning
bit...
looking to put up
Whoa!
a good defense, but whoa, the track says dry, but it almost looks a little slippery from everything we've seen today, especially in these first couple of corners where you go from high speed to medium to low.
Yeah, absolutely. It does look a little bit challenging out there. Wind's not a huge factor today. Kumsum up into 4th position, so Nate Delta leading ahead of Garrett O'Brien, John in 3rd, Kumsum in 4th, Debug in 5th, Cloning in 6th, Orange in 7th, and there are your point scorers right now. Viltec's still in this race after being sideswiped, Cracker Cold One still in the race, and so is Leclerc, but just a little while back. It looks like Artie and Bumblebee are out of this race. Race seeming to settle down now just a little bit, but Viltec is trying to heat up the party.
It's still close with Garrett just at less than a second behind Nate going onto the main straight. He's going to have a big toe. We'll see if there's something happening closer to the front.
We will indeed. Oh, as Viltec goes round the outside, takes the wrong way, tries to use the speed of going the longer way, get the engine revved up, and goes on through past Orange, so he's now into the 1-point territory. But a lot of his championship rivals are way up ahead, so he's got some work to do after that collision. As we're looking,
goes wheel to wheel.
Yeah, Kumsum goes wheel to wheel, and Garrett O'Brien thinking, I want to go wheel to wheel too. And Nate Delta is quite the mastery fox of cunningness in racing, and will not give up the position that easily. Garrett, you will have to try harder. Nate's got really wide to cover the inside.
He's gone wide, but this is going to be a tricky couple of corners to make a pass at. There's not big braking zones for a few corners at least.
Absolutely. Now we're coming into a fast right-hander. It goes into an even faster right-hander to a left-hander that you think you should be able to go flat out. But some reason, this one we're just coming into now, that you never can. And you can see from the way that Garrett's car is moving around that it was not comfortable inside that cockpit.
It's a little lift, but you have to get it right. And I imagine dirty air at that distance to a car ahead will really affect how you take it.
It will indeed. Garrett O'Brien gets it sideways, that maybe won't be the best for getting maximum traction, which is what you'll need to get the acceleration, to make sure that you're in the toe, to make sure that you can make the pass. But he is tucked in there.
You don't want the toe too early on this straight. It'd be a little bit easier to catch at the end of the straight as opposed to the beginning.
That is fair, and you were calling it absolutely right there, as he's trying to go round the outside of Nate, and that is the way that you do it. Garrett has gone through, and Nate has suffered there as Kumsum is now looking down the inside.
Yeah, Kumsum with the right line to take John D. Pulls ahead.
Oh, this is great stuff. These top 4 are giving us an absolute show today. And here we go, Kumsum, probably one of the fastest drivers the Mutiny has ever seen. He's 3rd right now, hauling his way through the pack, trying to stay out of trouble. John holding on really well to the back of them. You've got to look at the leader's time, and if you're in a 34, you're doing really well. If you're in a 35, you're doing okay. You're probably battling. If you're any slower than that, you might be falling off the top 4's pace. As you can see on the track map on the top right-hand side, they're starting to pull away the top 5 from the rest of the drivers behind them. And that is the gaggle of them just there. Viltec just trying to make his way through.
That looked like, was that Nate Delta getting sideways?
Yeah, it did indeed. It was hard to tell.
Kumsum might be shaping up for a move based on that.
It's indeed down the inside he's looking. Nate can't move now. The move is started, and he has to take the wide line. And those extra meters, you could see the difference it made just there. down the inside, second place. Now hunting down Garrett just in front of him. This is a great show. The top four really putting for us today.
Yeah, I think the battle between 1 and 2 is going to be super close. We've seen both of these drivers at the front, both of them setting poles, taking fastest laps, getting podiums and wins. And then 3 and 4, these are also both very experienced drivers. Nate Delton and John D have been with us for several seasons now. They know what they're doing. They're ready to hunt for a podium.
Yeah, they know exactly what they're doing. It's a very experienced lot at the front there. Gorgeous livery. These liveries, if you want to see who made them, please just scroll down into the captions below. I think that's Garrett going wide, going spinning, and he has lost a ton of time. He's managed to hold it together, but he is going to lose positions, and come some goes through. So does Nate Delta, and so does John, and that is a costly mistake there for Garrett as he tries to hold on. But first to fourth, that is brutal.
That shows you just how close the racing is this season. As they continue to go wheel to wheel ahead, Nate Delta and John D will not let up.
Oh, that is heartbreaking stuff, and Kumsum is leading away as John and Nate Delta, like you said, are fighting it side by side. John has maybe just a fraction of space on the inside. Nate gives it to him. Good clean racing here as Garrett's trying to fight his way back. It looks like he's maybe got a little bit less downforce, and the car gets so squirrely around the outside of John. What a move! And look who's at the back ready to play. It's Debug. He's saying, while you guys are squabbling, I'm just going to start catching you guys up. Thank you very much.
And all this while, Kumsum has not really been able to pull a big gap. Nate Delta just less than a second still.
He is indeed, and this is going to be really tricky. It's going to all his focus. You know, you got to channel your inner time trial self and forget you're in a race and just focus. Entry. Oh, there's a couple of cars. You could see Nate and John just having the back step out just a little bit. And that just allows everyone to stay just a little bit closer to you than you'd like. And Kumsum's starting to get past that second mark, so he is really channeling that speed that he has inside of him. Focus on every apex, every braking point, every throttle connection. To the final hairpin. John taking the approach of getting the rear round first and then straightening up. Garrett taking the smoother arc through the corner. And here we go. Is John going to be close enough for a move on Garrett here?
Garrett's going to have the toe from Nate ahead, though, so it makes it a little bit harder to make that move.
And he has pulled out, maybe to get some clean air. John thinking that as Garrett takes the inside, that car is rapid in a straight line. You've got to think he's running less downforce. And he's made that move again on the right-handers on the way down to this final right-hander. Whoa!
Oh no, Nate!
Nate almost killed his
so lucky
teammate.
not to collect the teammate exactly. Oh wow.
Oh, Nate with a change of trousers, please. As we're in lap 9, remember the sprints are just 15 minutes, including the formation lap, so we are coming right the way through right now. 15 minutes plus a lap. So Garrett O'Brien thinking, right, I'm in seconds. I've survived a little bit of chaos. What can I do? Can I catch Kumsum ahead?
And Nate Delta now is going to fall into the clutches of Viltec as we cut to them.
Indeed, and you can see the marbles and dirt starting to be dragged onto the track there. As we're on board with, and you're right, in the background, that is how much room, how much space Nate lost. Falling through the cracks. Viltec there to catch him. And look at this, cloning in 7th position right now. Still ahead of Orange. That is a point. If he can hold on,
that'll be a big result.
That will be an absolute huge result for Ferrari. Jordan on the outside with Debug at the helm. They were teammates, and there is some weekly love lost between these two as they talk about what used to be like to be teammates and now enemies in rival teams. And Debug gets through into the podium position. John thinking, how did that happen? They'll know all each other's strengths and weaknesses. And Debug there just taking a little chip out of one of John's weaknesses. And saying thank you very much as Garrett still gets that car sideways. You can tell they're struggling on traction. It's actually something I've noticed a lot with Garrett. If you look back and look at his Formula One stuff with us, and you look at the IndyCar season, it tends to get the car a little bit more sideways, as I see someone flashing there and Kumsum's name dropping down the order.
That was Kumsum flashing on and off track, now falling back, and that must be a reliability issue, you could say. Reliability of internet, that is.
Yeah, and that's why the Mutiny doesn't put in like random reliability issues, because there are enough in the real world to take it away from you, and that is a cruel thing that just happens. Here comes some. And Garrett O'Brien now finds himself leading, and I think that is it. I think that is the race over. He is cruising down. Yeah. Garrett O'Brien has won the race. And look at that. That is what he will be wanting. The sprint win against his name. That is some great points. And
that is 2 wins back-to-back from that Salvador feature win. Now to the Ibarra sprint. He's on good form.
That is incredible form, really, when you think about it. That is the kind of stuff that makes champions, and if you can keep doing that week in, week out, he will find himself rising to the top. And now getting to do a bit of a cool-down lap with his teammate.
By his teammate, yeah. Celebration.
And what could have happened to Viltech had he not been wiped out quite so early on. And they are not warming their tyres, they are celebrating. They're celebrating hard. Williams getting the car out sideways and enjoying the taste of victory. Gotta see the final race results though. They will be coming up very shortly as we see orange parked on the side there. I wonder if he ran out of fuel. And here
we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is Garrett taking the lead with the fastest lap. You get an extra point for that. Debug in second, and John rounding out the podium. 2 seconds behind, still very close to the end. Nate Delta in fourth, Viltech in fifth, Orange Boy in sixth, and Crack a Cold One in seventh with the last point, and also the last finisher as Leclerc, Hardy, Bumblebee, Kumsum, and cloning all DNF, or I believe cloning DSQ. Is this could this be related to the after race?
Yes,
contact?
There was some after race antics and contacts, and cloning has been disqualified. We didn't see it on track, but it's unfortunate. It's very sad to say. But look at that. Driver of the day had to become such a phenomenal drive through the field, and to be disconnected like that, it just brings up that scene from The Matrix. No, not like this. Disconnected. Thank you so much for watching season 12. This has been race 5, the sprint at Ibarra. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. The feature race is just around the corner.